Bud Light is out here continuing to spend so much money in order to try to make you forget about Dylan Mulvaney. Is it working? Well, not really. Not really. Stock prices haven't rebounded. Volume of sales is nowhere close to where it was, even in, on, and around the time where everything was falling off before they ended up scraping the bottom. They found a brand new bottom. And no, I'm not talking about Dylan quite yet. But Bud Light teams up with NFL legends Peyton Manning. I guess you can rest a six-pack on his forehead, so a beer sponsorship just made sense. And Emmitt Smith. Okay, in a desperate bid to boost sales after Dylan Mulvaney marketing disaster sparked a widespread boycott. Yeah, exactly. Nothing like trying to promote the Indianapolis Colts and the Dallas Cowboys right now in this season. Or I guess by proxy, the Denver Broncos and Arizona Cardinals. But I'm sure that this was probably included in their big old NFL sponsorship deal, right? Eventually, that'll pay off. Bud Light has teamed up with NFL legends Peyton Manning and Emmitt Smith in a bid to boost the sales following the PR disaster with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney, which saw customers boycott the brand. The Pro Football Hall of Famer star in a new commercial released ahead of the Super Bowl, which kicks off in 2 months ahead. At Las Vegas Allegiant Stadium. Brand remained the official NFL sponsor despite sales plummeting 30% amid the controversy over this year. The influencer partnered with the beer brand in April for March Madness, and well, we all know how that story ended up going. But the backlash caused Bud Light's parent company, Anheuser Busch, to lose $400 million in sales and $46 billion. It's not great. Not great. When it comes to market cap specifically, the brand and others who felt it did not do enough to defend Mulvaney also boycotted. Exactly. So it wasn't just conservative influencers kicking our transgender activists to the curb. No. It was their own people not reconciling with that. The total U.S. revenue dropped 10.5% compared to the year before, forcing its chief U.S. marketing officer to stand down. Daniel Play, Calissa Heinerschneid, and then the guy who's in charge in general is stepping down at the end of the year. But don't worry, guys. Emmitt Smith and Peyton Manning are here to save the day. New advertisement sees Manning order a round of beers for the bar before firing them out to patrons. Hopefully not like he did during his final year in the league because, well, that poor old crippled up old man couldn't quite toss him like he used to. In typical quarterback style, Manning drops back and starts passing cans of Bud Light. Well, maybe that's appropriate because he's got such a girly delivery now that he's delivering Bud Light. The campaign also kicks off a chance for fans to win playoff and Super Bowl tickets by scanning QR codes on the fans. Because you know what? The Super Bowl definitely needs help filling seats. But you know who else does need help doing as much? Well, probably somebody who's also looking for a beer sponsorship and also wanted to have a Super Bowl commercial in the future. Maybe you can go ahead and accomplish 2 goals because it doesn't look like your public speaking gigs are really taking off. Dylan Mulvaney reveals she did not speak to her mother for 6 months during her transition while giving guest lecture to a half-empty auditorium. Fucking half-empty. We got some pictures. It's a little bit more than fucking half empty, okay? It's kind of like your drawers. A little bit more than half empty. Transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney shared her journey during a recent lecture at Penn State. Motherfucker, I've given Dylan Mulvaney them's flowers because, well, okay, nobody has gone from relative obscurity to taking over the societal discussion quite as well as Dylan Mulvaney in 2 simple social media posting. Nobody was quite as efficient as raising their stock in the public consciousness. So even though it was bad publicity, people know the name Dylan Mulvaney. Also know it as the name that killed Bud Light. Mulvaney discussed her struggles and dreams to a small crowd. It was an intimate setting in a very large hall, so I bet you there was a lot of echoes there of Penn State students Friday evening emphasizing her passion for theater and her upcoming one-woman show. Oh boy, get your tickets. Or I guess you could probably do walk-up because if this is any sort of an indication, the 15 minutes of fame for Dylan Mulvaney, well, that shit is just hit 1459. The event, funded by student fees, faced low attendance, documented by footage shared at the Young America's Foundation, revealing rows and rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of empty seats at the auditorium where the 26-year-old was set to take the stage. Mulvaney sporting a Penn State jacket. Hi guys, even though I try to push transgender ideology on kids, I'm only the second most embarrassing person to wear this Penn State jacket as a sex predator. Shout out Jerry Sandusky. That was the hardest year of my life, she said, as reported by the Penn State campus newspaper Onward State. My next musical theater dream is to do a production with a lot of trans people on stage. It'll be wonderful. Yeah, guys, student-initiated fee funded by tour. Yeah, ticketing information. The free tickets. Remember, this was free. You could feel free to attend with one of the most famous people of 2023 to the lecture. Will be available for PSU students on Friday, December 1st at 7 p.m. through Org Central. Students must RSVP for the event. Oh, that must have been why the low attendance was what it was, because I had that additional barrier of entry. To get in the RSVP line, students must show that they are RSVP'd on Org Central. Once tickets are sold out, students who attempt to RSVP will be placed on a wait list. Don't worry about that. It's never in threat of happening. Students should remain on this wait list in the chance that they are bumped to the RSVP list. Ooh, if a student is still on the wait list at the time of the event, they will be directed to the standby line and will not be guaranteed entry to the event. Once all present ticketed attendees are granted entry, individuals in the standby line will be let in as capacity allows. But as you can see, plenty of seats available. And by saying that, half the auditorium was full, half. Trying to pass that shit off as half full, motherfucker. That shit is set up for at least 500 people. At least 500 people there. Got a couple of dozen heads that you can at least count on that, not counting, knowing the audience that Dylan draws, how many are in, the seats, of course. Mulvaney emphasized the importance of gender identity, and everybody clapped. And the right to be treated with respect. The actress highlighted challenges faced by trans individuals in musical theater. Isn't that like the most likely place that these fucking weirdos end up getting accepted? Like, I'm just wondering, man. Normally you got those, theater geeks. It's like you guys are kind of more accepting of weirdos than anybody else. But, okay, cool. There's bigotry everywhere and you need to point it out. You're entitled to be treated with respect. I never thought of myself as an activist, and then I got invited to the White House, and it's like, being an activist is pretty cool after all. On a lighter note, Mulvaney discussed her fashion choices, and frankly, I don't give a shit. Online backlash ensued, with users mocking Mulvaney, making jokes about the low attendance and questioning the authenticity of the speaker. You don't say. He can imagine his audience like he imagines his gender. Oh, got him. What? Oh, well, I'm sure the venue identifies as sold out. That's pretty funny. Dylan is a scam. It's time for the people to see him for what he truly is. Mulvaney's speaking fee and the number of students who RSVP'd remains unclear, but as we've seen, I remember doing a video on this when Dylan was announcing my brand new speaking tour. All it's going to take is just a $40,000 deposit, which I'm sure Penn State was more than willing to fork out. It's just that money could have gone to, giving everybody in attendance $1,000, or from some of the angles, $10,000 each. But oh man, that's so sad because they went to such great lengths to make such a nice poster, which it's all right. I'll stick with my thumbnails. I think that they're far more hilarious and at least accurate when it comes to representing this fucking goof. This comes just a week after the transgender influencer was named to Forbes' annual 30 under 30 list. Yeah, highlighting and being the spotlight of the social media section, which just kind of shows you how fucking AIDS-inducing the whole influencer genre is. With the magazine praising her for withstanding the fallout to the disastrous Bud Light campaign. Yeah, you really sucked at your job, but you did it with grace and style. So we'll just go ahead and put you on the 30 under 30 list. Is that great? Please don't cancel us for saying that we're not supporting of transgender individuals. Fucking Forbes is a joke. Mulvaney, 26, shared the digital cover on Instagram, writing, "Businesswoman special. This is my dream. I couldn't be more grateful. And buckle up. We're just getting started." But if you take a look at the attendance of your first of many, well, depending on if that picture ends up getting tossed around to the places that you're going to be speaking at, it's probably going to be one of the few gigs that you're going to be doing time, because it might be a businesswoman's dream, but you better go back to sleep, because reality is not all that kind to some has-beens. And that's what you're going to be rolling into 2024. Bud Light has a better chance. Bud Light has a better chance of redeeming themselves in the public consciousness than you do for selling at a table, not just at a trans banquet, a trans auditorium, not trying to fill the auditorium to the rafters. Now, the next time you're going to be entertaining a paying audience, you're going to be taking their appetizer and drink orders. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.